The Galactic Council's shocking discovery. In the vast expanse of the Milky Way, countless civilizations had risen and fallen, each leaving its mark on the tapestry of galactic history. But none had prepared the Galactic Council for the discovery they were about to make. A discovery that would shake the very foundations of their understanding of life in the universe. The Galactic Council, a coalition of the most advanced species in the known galaxy, prided itself on its comprehensive classification system for habitable worlds. For millennia, they had cataloged millions of planets, categorizing them based on their ability to support life. From lush paradise worlds to barren rocks, they thought they had seen it all. That is, until they found Earth. It was High Counselor Zixnera, a being of pure energy encased in a shimmering containment suit, who first brought the anomaly to the Council's attention. As the holographic display flickered to life in the center of the Grand Chamber, murmurs of confusion rippled through the assembled alien delegates. Esteemed colleagues, Zixnera's voice resonated through the chamber. I present to you System J773, located in the outer spiral arm of our galaxy. Initial scans revealed a planet that defies our conventional understanding of habitability. The hologram zoomed in on a blue and green marble, swirling with white clouds. At first glance, it seemed unremarkable, even inviting. But as data streams began to flow across the display, the Council members' expressions shifted from curiosity to disbelief, and finally to horror. Impossible. Brith Kralthor, the reptilian representative from the Draconis Confederation. These readings must be incorrect. But Zixnera shook their luminous form. I'm afraid not, Counselor. Multiple probes have confirmed the data. This planet experiences temperature swings of over 150 degrees Celsius between its poles and equator. Its atmosphere is a volatile mix of nitrogen and oxygen, a combination we've long considered too unstable to support complex life. The Council chamber erupted in a cacophony of alien voices, each struggling to comprehend the information before them. Gravlax, a gelatinous being from the methane seas of Titan Prime, oozed forward, their translator struggling to keep up with their rapid speech. But that's not all, they gurgled. Look at the geological data. Active plate tectonics, frequent seismic events, and, by the cosmic void, over 1,500 active volcanoes. The hologram shifted, showing time-lapse footage of hurricanes swirling across vast oceans, tornadoes tearing through plains, and blizzards burying entire regions in meters of snow. With each new revelation, the Council's shock deepened. This world, Zixnera continued, experiences regular catastrophic events that would annihilate most known forms of life. Floods, droughts, ice ages. It's a planet in constant flux, hostile to stability in every conceivable way. Silence fell over the chamber as the implications sank in. It was Elorix, the silicon-based historian, who finally spoke. In all our records, spanning billions of years and countless worlds, we have never encountered a planet like this. By all our metrics, by every standard we have ever set, this world is uninhabitable. It is, for lack of a better term, a hell world. Nods of agreement rippled through the assembly. The classification seemed obvious, a mere formality at this point. Earth would be marked as a cosmic curiosity, a case study in extreme environments, but certainly not a candidate for life. That's when alarms began blaring across the Council's systems. Zixnera's form flickered in agitation as they accessed the incoming data. Counselors, I don't know how to explain this. We're detecting clear signs of advanced civilization on the planet's surface. The chamber exploded into chaos. Accusations of faulty equipment and data manipulation flew back and forth. It took the booming voice of Grand Arbiter Vox, a being as old as some stars, to restore order. Enough. Vox thundered, his crystalline body resonating with each word. Zixnera, explain. How is this possible? The energy being's light pulsed rapidly, a sign of their own disbelief. The planet is covered in artificial structures. We're detecting complex communication networks, evidence of rudimentary space exploration, and manipulation of the atom. This civilization has achieved nuclear fission. Kralthor's scales stood on end. Are you suggesting that intelligent life has not only survived on this hell world, but thrived to the point of technological advancement? It appears so, Zixnera confirmed. What's more, our linguistic decryption programs have determined that the dominant species calls itself human, and they refer to their planet as Earth. The implications were staggering. Every principle of xenobiology, every theory of planetary formation and life development that the Galactic Council had held dear for eons was now called into question. How could life, intelligent, tool-using, civilization-building life, emerge in an environment that by all rights should prohibit its very existence? Grand Arbiter Vox leaned forward, his crystalline features set in grim determination. Counselors, we stand at a crossroads of discovery. This Earth and its humans represent something unprecedented in galactic history. We must learn more. Elrix raised a silicon appendage. With all due respect, Arbiter, our protocols are clear. Worlds of such extreme danger are to be quarantined, for the safety of all. But Vox shook his head, crystal chimes ringing softly. No, Elrix. Our protocols were written with the assumption that no sapient life could arise in such conditions. The humans have proven that assumption false. We cannot, in good conscience, ignore this discovery. The Arbiter's gaze swept across the chamber, meeting the eyes, optical sensors, and various sensory organs of each council member. I propose a mission, not of conquest or colonization, but of contact and study. We must understand how these humans have accomplished the impossible. For in their struggle against their hell world, they may have unlocked secrets that could benefit all life in the galaxy. As the council debated the specifics of the mission, a sense of anticipation filled the chamber. They stood on the brink of a new era in galactic history, one that promised to rewrite their understanding of life itself. Little did they know that the humans of Earth, oblivious to the cosmic drama unfolding light years away, were about to face their greatest challenge yet, and in doing so, prove to the galaxy why they had not just survived their hell world, but made it their own. The stage was set for a meeting of civilizations that would change the course of the galaxy forever. Humanity was about to step onto the cosmic stage, carrying with them the indomitable spirit forged in the crucible of their improbable world. The Galactic Council, in all its eons of existence, had never faced a species quite like this before. And as the first contact mission began to take shape, one question echoed through the minds of every council member. What kind of beings could call a hell world home? And what would their emergence mean for the future of the galaxy? First contact and cultural clash. The sleek, silvery contours of the Galactic Council's flagship, the Harmony of Worlds, shimmered against the backdrop of Earth's blue atmosphere. On the bridge, first contact specialist Lorana adjusted her adaptive exoskeleton, her iridescent scales rippling with a mix of excitement and apprehension. Final approach vector locked, chirped the ship's eye, entering Earth's atmosphere in T-minus 60 seconds. Lorana turned to her diverse crew, each member chosen for their expertise in xenobiology, linguistics, and diplomacy. Remember, she said, her translator converting her melodic tones into the harsh sounds of English, we are guests here. This world may seem hostile to us, but to the humans, it's home. We must approach with open minds and utmost caution. As the ship descended through layers of turbulent atmosphere, buffeted by winds that would tear lesser vessels apart, the crew couldn't help but marvel at the resilience of their own technology, and by extension, the incredible adaptations the humans must have developed to thrive in such conditions. The Harmony of Worlds touched down in a designated area, a vast, flat expanse of concrete surrounded by towering structures of glass and steel. A delegation of humans waited nearby, their faces a mix of awe, curiosity, and unmistakable pride. Lorana took a deep breath of filtered air and stepped out onto the surface of Earth. The gravity tugged at her, stronger than she was used to, and the cacophony of sounds and smells threatened to overwhelm her senses. But she steadied herself, reminding herself of the monumental nature of this moment. A human stepped forward, a woman with dark skin and eyes that sparkled with intelligence. "On behalf of the people of Earth, I welcome you," she said, her voice clear and confident. "I am Dr. Amara Okafor, Chief Diplomat of the United Earth Council." Lorena bowed slightly, a gesture her research suggested was respectful in many Earth cultures. "Greetings, Dr. Okafor. I am First Contact Specialist Lorena of the Galactic Council. We come in peace and with great curiosity about your world and your people." As formalities were exchanged and introductions made, Lorena couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. The humans showed none of the fear or subservience typically exhibited by species encountering a far more advanced civilization for the first time. Instead, they carried themselves with a quiet confidence, even a hint of amusement, as if they were in on some cosmic joke. The delegation was led to a grand conference room within a nearby building. As they settled in, Dr. Okafor began the briefing. "We understand you have questions about our world and how we've managed to thrive here. We're more than happy to share our knowledge, but first, we'd like to hear your perspective. How do you view Earth?" Lorena hesitated, unsure of how to diplomatically express the Galactic Council's classification of their homeworld. But before she could formulate a response, one of her crew members, a young and eager xenobiologist named Zax, blurted out, "It's absolutely fascinating. Your planet is unlike anything we've ever encountered. The sheer variety of climates, the geological instability, the atmospheric composition. By all our standards, this world should be uninhabitable. We classified it as a hell world." A hush fell over the room. Lorena winced, preparing for outrage or offense from the humans. But to her surprise, the silence was broken by a burst of laughter from Dr. Okafor. "A hell world." She chuckled, shaking her head. "Well, I suppose that's one way to look at it. To us, it's simply home. But please, tell us more about this classification system of yours." Encouraged by the humans' unexpected reaction, Lorena explained the Galactic Council's habitability index, detailing the factors that had led to Earth's extreme classification. As she spoke, she noticed the humans exchanging knowing glances, some barely containing their amusement. When she finished, a man introduced as Dr. Chen, an environmental scientist, leaned forward. "Your system is impressive, but it seems to be based on a fundamental misconception, that life adapts to ideal conditions rather than adapting to overcome challenges." He tapped a control, and a holographic display sprang to life, showing Earth's evolutionary history. Life on Earth didn't arise in spite of these harsh conditions. It arose because of them. The challenges posed by our world drove innovation, fostered resilience, and ultimately led to the emergence of intelligence. The alien delegation watched in awe as the display showed the myriad ways Earth's life had adapted to every conceivable environment, from the deepest ocean trenches to the highest mountain peaks, from scorching deserts to frozen tundras. "But surely," Zax interjected, "a more stable environment would have been more conducive to technological advancement. The constant threats from natural disasters, the extremes of weather. How did you find the time and resources to progress?" This time, it was a grizzled woman with cybernetic enhancements who answered. Admiral Sarah Donovan. Her uniform marked her as a military leader. "Those very challenges are what spurred our advancement," she said, her voice carrying the weight of hard-won experience. "Every disaster taught us something new. Every setback forced us to innovate. We didn't just survive our world. We learned to harness its power." The hologram shifted, showing human cities with buildings designed to withstand earthquakes, massive dams controlling floodwaters, weather control systems taming storms, and terraforming projects greening deserts. Lorena felt a shift in the room's dynamics. The humans weren't presenting themselves as lucky survivors of a harsh world, but as conquerors who had risen to every challenge their planet had thrown at them, and emerged stronger for it. But it's not just about technology, Dr. Okafor added softly. Earth's diversity, its range of environments, climates, and ecosystems, led to a diversity of human cultures, each adapted to its local conditions. This diversity became our greatest strength, allowing us to approach problems from countless angles, to innovate in ways a more homogeneous species never could. As the briefing continued, the alien delegation found themselves repeatedly surprised by the humans' perspectives. What the Galactic Council saw as insurmountable obstacles, the humans viewed as opportunities. Where the aliens expected to find a species humbled by their harsh world, they instead encountered one that had been forged by it, proud of their accomplishments and eager to face new challenges. By the time the first day of meetings concluded, Lorana's head was spinning with new information and paradigm-shifting ideas. As she prepared her initial report for the Galactic Council, she realized that the humans' classification of Earth as a hell world wasn't just inaccurate. It fundamentally misunderstood the relationship between the species and their homeworld. Earth wasn't a prison of harsh conditions that humans had merely survived. It was a crucible that had shaped them, challenged them, and ultimately empowered them to reach for the stars. As the harmony of worlds settled into orbit for the night, its crew abuzz with discussions about the day's revelations, Lorana gazed down at the blue marble below. She couldn't help but wonder. If this was what humans could accomplish on their hell world, what would they be capable of on the galactic stage? The first contact had been made, but it was clear that the true challenge lay ahead, not in teaching these humans about the galaxy, but in learning from them, and perhaps, in the process, redefining the Galactic Council's understanding of life itself. Little did Lorana know that this was just the beginning. The humans were about to show the galaxy that they were more than just survivors of a harsh world. They were its masters, ready to take on whatever challenges the universe had in store. The human perspective. As the first light of dawn broke over the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, Dr. Amara Okafor stood at the window of her office in the United Earth Council headquarters. She watched as the alien ship, Harmony of Worlds, descended once again from orbit, a gleaming reminder of the monumental change humanity was facing. "Penny for your thoughts, Amara." The voice belonged to Admiral Sarah Donovan, who had quietly entered the room. Amara turned, a wry smile on her face. "Just thinking about how we're going to give our guests a real taste of Earth today. Are the preparations ready?" Sarah nodded, her cybernetic eye whirring as it focused. "Everything's set. Though I still think this idea of yours is crazy. Brilliant, but crazy." "Sometimes crazy is exactly what we need," Amara replied, her eyes twinkling with mischief. "These aliens think our world is hell. Let's show them how we dance with the devil." As the alien delegation disembarked from their ship, they were greeted not by the formal reception of the previous day, but by a bustling scene of organized chaos. Humans rushed about, loading equipment onto rugged vehicles, checking communication devices, and donning protective gear. Lorana approached Amara, confusion evident in her bioluminescent patterns. "Dr. Okafor, what's happening?" "We were expecting further diplomatic discussions." Amara grinned, tossing Lorana a sealed package. "Change of plans, Specialist Lorana. Today, you're going to experience Earth firsthand. That's an environmental suit calibrated for your physiology. I suggest you and your team put them on. We leave in 10 minutes. Before Lorana could protest, she found herself and her team whisked away, fitted with protective gear, and loaded onto a transport alongside their human hosts. As the convoy of vehicles roared to life and sped away from the city, Lorana felt a mix of excitement and trepidation. Their first stop was a massive construction site in what the humans called earthquake country. Huge machines moved earth and materials, while workers in high-tech suits operated complex equipment. Dr. Chen, the environmental scientist, explained as they toured the site. "This is one of our newest Resilient Cities projects. We're building a metropolis designed not just to withstand earthquakes, but to harness their energy." He pointed out buildings with foundations that could shift and adapt to ground movement, kinetic energy capture systems that turn seismic waves into power, and an underground network of stabilizers that could dampen the effects of even the most severe quakes. Zax, the young xenobiologist, was awestruck. "You're not just surviving the earthquakes. You're using them to your advantage." "Exactly," Chen beamed. "Earth throws challenges at us, and we rise to meet them. It's the story of our species." Their next destination was a weather control station high in the mountains. As they ascended, the alien visitors marveled at the rapid changes in climate and terrain. Admiral Donovan, piloting their aircraft, chuckled at their reactions. "Buckle up, folks. We're flying straight into a Category 5 hurricane." Lorana's scales paled. "Surely you jest, Admiral. That would be suicide." But Donovan's grin only widened as she steered the craft towards a wall of roiling dark clouds. "Welcome to how we do things on our hell world, my friends." What followed was a harrowing flight through wind and rain that would have torn lesser craft apart. But their vehicle, a marvel of human engineering, cut through the storm like a hot knife through butter. They emerged in the eye of the hurricane, where a floating research station hung suspended, surrounded by drones and energy collectors. Dr. Kira Volkov, a climatologist, greeted them on the station. "This storm would have devastated coastal cities a century ago," she explained. "Now we use it to power millions of homes. We seed clouds to control rainfall, redirect wind patterns to prevent droughts, and harvest the raw energy of nature itself." The day continued in much the same vein. The humans took their alien guests from one extreme environment to another, showcasing not just how they survived these conditions, but how they thrived in them. They visited underwater cities that used the crushing pressure of the deep ocean to generate power and create new materials. They toured vertical farms that turned arid deserts into lush oases of food production. They even took a brief suborbital hop to a research station in Antarctica, where scientists were developing technologies to terraform other worlds based on their experience in Earth's harshest climates. At each stop, the aliens witnessed not just human resilience, but an almost joyful embrace of challenge. Children played in parks designed to withstand tornadoes, their laughter mixing with the howl of wind in reinforced funhouses. Artists created massive sculptures using materials forged in the heart of volcanoes. Extreme sports enthusiasts rode vehicles of their own invention across terrains that the aliens would have deemed uninhabitable. As the sun began to set on their whirlwind tour, Lorana found herself standing with Amara on a cliff overlooking a vast, churning ocean. In the distance, massive solar collection arrays floated on the waves, adjusting their position with the precision of sunflowers tracking the sun. "I don't understand," Lorana said, her voice filled with wonder and confusion. "All day, you've shown us marvels of adaptation and innovation. But why? Why expend so much energy fighting against your world when you could have sought out a more hospitable one?" Amara's gaze remained fixed on the horizon, a soft smile playing on her lips. "Because this world made us who we are, Lorana. Every challenge it presented forced us to grow, to think, to push beyond our limits. We don't fight against our world. We dance with it, in a partnership as old as our species." She turned to face the alien diplomat, her eyes alight with passion. "Earth isn't just a rock we happen to live on. It's our mother, our teacher, our greatest ally, and most worthy adversary. Every human achievement, every step we've taken towards the stars, was born from the lessons Earth taught us." Lorana was silent for a long moment, processing this perspective that was so alien to her own. "I think I'm beginning to understand," she said slowly. "Your hell world isn't a prison. It's a crucible." Amara finished for her, "one that forged humanity into what we are today. And now that we're stepping onto the galactic stage, we carry that legacy with us. Every human you meet, Lorana, is a child of Earth. We embody its harshness and its beauty, its dangers and its wonders." As they made their way back to the alien ship, Lorana's mind was awhirl with new insights and perspectives. She realized that the Galactic Council's initial classification of Earth as a hell world wasn't just inaccurate. It was an entirely inadequate framework for understanding the relationship between humans and our homeworld. What the Council saw as insurmountable challenges, humans saw as opportunities for growth. What aliens classified as dangers to be avoided, humans embraced as teachers and partners in their evolutionary journey. As the harmony of worlds prepared for liftoff, Lorana knew that her report to the Galactic Council would be unlike any they had ever received. She had come to Earth expecting to find a species barely clinging to survival on a hostile world. Instead, she had discovered a civilization that had turned adversity into strength, chaos into creativity, and danger into opportunity. The humans weren't just survivors of a hell world. They were its masters, its children, and its greatest success story. And as they looked to the stars, Lorana couldn't help but wonder. If this was what humanity could achieve on their harsh homeworld, what wonders and what challenges would they bring to the galactic community? The story of Earth and humanity was far from over. In fact, as the ship broke atmosphere and the blue marble of Earth receded from view, Lorana had the distinct feeling that it was only just beginning. Galactic threats and human resilience. The Grand Chamber of the Galactic Council was abuzz with excited chatter as Lorana prepared to deliver her report on Earth. The holographic displays came to life, showcasing images and data from her expedition. As she recounted her experiences, the council members' expressions ranged from disbelief to awe. And in conclusion, Lorana said, her voice resonating through the chamber, "I believe we must reconsider not just our classification of Earth, but our entire framework for understanding the development of intelligent life. The humans have shown us that adversity, when embraced, can be a powerful catalyst for growth and innovation." The chamber erupted into debate. Some council members argued for immediately opening full diplomatic relations with Earth, while others cautioned against moving too quickly. But their discussion was abruptly cut short as alarms blared throughout the council headquarters. Grand Arbiter Vox's crystalline form pulsed with urgency. "Councilors, we have a situation. The swarm has breached the Orion Arm's defensive perimeter." A collective gasp rippled through the assembly. The swarm, a hive mind species of insectoid aliens that consumed entire worlds, had long been the stuff of galactic nightmares. For centuries, they had been contained in a distant sector of the galaxy, held at bay by the combined might of the Council's most advanced civilizations. "How is this possible?" Kralthor hissed, scales standing on end. "Our defenses were impenetrable." Vox's form dimmed slightly. "It appears they've evolved. Our standard tactics are no longer effective. They've already consumed 3 worlds in the Orion sector." As the Council descended into panic, Lorana's mind raced. An idea, wild and perhaps desperate, formed in her mind. "Arbiter," she called out, her voice cutting through the chaos. "What if we asked the humans for help?" The chamber fell silent, all eyes turning to her. "The humans," Gravlax burbled incredulously. "They've barely achieved interstellar travel. What could they possibly do against the swarm?" Lorana stood her ground. "They've spent their entire history overcoming seemingly insurmountable challenges. Their perspective, their adaptability, could be exactly what we need." After a moment of tense silence, Vox nodded. "Make the call." On Earth, the response to the Galactic Council's plea for help was swift and decisive. Within hours, a task force was assembled, led by Admiral Donovan and Dr. Okafor. As they prepared to depart, Lorana marveled at the energy and determination that seemed to radiate from every human involved. "I must warn you," she said to Amara as they boarded the flagship. "The swarm has defeated our most advanced weapons. Are you sure you're prepared for this?" Amara's eyes gleamed with a mix of excitement and fierce determination. "Lorana, if there's one thing humans are good at, it's facing the impossible. Let's go save the galaxy." The journey to the front lines was tense. Lorana briefed the humans on everything the Council knew about the swarm. To her surprise, instead of fear, she saw excitement in their eyes. They asked questions she'd never considered, proposed strategies that seemed insane at first glance, but grew more brilliant the more she thought about them. As they approached the battle zone, they received reports of another world falling to the swarm. The Council fleet was in disarray, their formations broken, their weapons ineffective against the swarm's new adaptations. Admiral Donovan took command of the situation with a calm that belied the chaos around them. "All right, folks. Time to show the galaxy how we do things on our hell world. Dr. Chen, you're up." Chen stepped forward, activating a holographic display. "We've analyzed the swarm's attack patterns. They're using Earth tactics, earthquakes, storms, volcanic eruptions. They've weaponized the very things we spent millennia learning to survive and thrive in." A slow grin spread across Donovan's face. "So they want to play in our sandbox. Let's show them how it's done. Kira, deploy the weather control satellites. Amara, get me a direct line to their hive mind. If they want to talk Earth, we'll give them an Earth they'll never forget." What followed was a battle unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. The humans turned the swarm's stolen tactics against them, but with a level of mastery that left even their alien allies in awe. Artificial earthquakes shattered swarm formations. Controlled storms herded their ships into kill zones. Targeted electromagnetic pulses, modeled after Earth's lightning strikes, short-circuited their neural networks. But it wasn't just about firepower. Dr. Okafor, using linguistic algorithms developed to decipher Earth's myriad languages, cracked the swarm's communication codes. They flooded the hive mind with conflicting information, sowing chaos and confusion through their ranks. The tide of battle turned. The swarm, for the first time in its history, found itself outmatched not in technology or numbers, but in sheer adaptability and tactical creativity. As the last of the swarm ships retreated, a cheer went up through the combined fleet. The humans had done the impossible. They'd beaten back a threat that had stymied the most advanced civilizations in the galaxy. In the aftermath, as the Council fleet regrouped and began relief efforts for the affected worlds, Lorana found Admiral Donovan staring out a viewport, a thoughtful expression on her face. "You did it," Lorana said, awe evident in her voice. "You saved us all." Donovan shook her head, a small smile playing on her lips. "We all did it together. But this was just the beginning, wasn't it?" Lorana nodded slowly. "The galaxy is a big place, full of wonders and dangers we've yet to imagine. But after seeing what humanity is capable of, I have hope." "Hope," Donovan mused. "That's the thing about coming from a hell world, Lorana. When you've stared into the abyss every day of your existence, and not only survived but thrived, you learn that there's always hope, always a way forward, no matter how impossible things seem." As they stood there, watching stars streak by, Lorana realized that the galaxy had changed irrevocably. Humanity had arrived on the cosmic stage, not as newcomers to be guided, but as partners to be embraced, learned from, and perhaps even followed. The hell world that had forged them had given the galaxy something it desperately needed, a species that didn't just face the impossible, but reveled in it, a species that saw challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities for growth and innovation. As news of humanity's victory spread across the stars, a new era dawned. The galaxy, long set in its ways, was about to learn what it meant to dance with the devil, and come out stronger for it. The children of Earth, born of fire and storm, of quake and flood, were ready to take on the universe. And the universe, for better or worse, would never be the same again. A new era of cooperation. The Great Hall of Harmony on the Galactic Council's capital world had never been so crowded. Representatives from every corner of the galaxy had gathered for an unprecedented event, the formal induction of Earth into the Galactic Council. The atmosphere was electric with anticipation, and for many, a hint of trepidation. At the center of it all stood Dr. Amara Okafor and Admiral Sarah Donovan, Earth's chosen representatives. They cut striking figures in their ceremonial attire, which blended elements of Earth's diverse cultures with subtle nods to the styles of their new galactic neighbors. Behind them, a delegation of humans from various fields, scientists, artists, leaders, and innovators, waited patiently. Grand Orator Vox's crystalline form shimmered as he addressed the assembly. Esteemed colleagues, honored guests, today marks a turning point in galactic history. We gather to welcome the people of Earth, whose recent actions have not only saved countless lives, but have challenged our fundamental understanding of life, adaptability, and the very nature of intelligence. A murmur rippled through the crowd. Many still found it hard to believe that a species from a world they had dismissed as uninhabitable had so quickly become central to galactic affairs. Vox continued, "In light of recent events and the insights we have gained, the Council proposes two major changes. First, the immediate reclassification of Earth from a hell world to a crucible world, a new category that recognizes environments which, through their very hostility, foster the development of highly adaptable and innovative species." Cheers erupted from the human delegation, while looks of dawning understanding spread across the faces of many alien representatives. Secondly, Vox said, raising a crystalline appendage for quiet, "We propose the establishment of a new division within the Galactic Council, the Department of Adaptive Solutions, to be jointly led by Earth and a rotating council of member worlds. This department will focus on applying the unique problem-solving approaches of crucible world species to galactic-scale challenges." The hall burst into discussion, a mix of excitement and nervous energy. Lorana, watching from her place among the senior diplomats, couldn't help but smile. She caught Amara's eye and gave a small nod of encouragement. Amara stepped forward, her voice clear and strong as she addressed the assembly. "Esteemed members of the Galactic Council, on behalf of Earth and all of humanity, we are honored by your welcome and your trust. We come here not as conquerors or saviors, but as partners. Our world taught us that the greatest achievements come not from avoiding challenges, but from embracing them." She gestured to the diverse human delegation behind her. Every human carries within them the legacy of Earth, the ingenuity born of necessity, the courage forged in adversity, the unity found in facing common threats. We offer this legacy to the galaxy, not as a solution to all problems, but as a new perspective in facing them. Admiral Donovan stepped up next, her cybernetic eye scanning the crowd. "But we also come to learn. Each of your species, each of your worlds, has its own wisdom to offer. Earth may be a crucible, but the galaxy is an even greater one. Together, we can forge a future brighter than any of us could achieve alone." As the humans' words sank in, a change came over the assembly. Species that had initially viewed Earth with skepticism or even fear now looked at the human delegation with new eyes. They began to see not the brash newcomers from a death world, but potential allies who had faced the impossible and emerged stronger for it. The following days were a whirlwind of activity. Human experts collaborated with alien scientists, sharing insights on everything from weather control technology to adaptive agriculture techniques. Earth's artists and philosophers engaged in deep discussions with their galactic counterparts, exploring new forms of expression and ways of thinking. One moment stood out to Lorana as she observed the proceedings. In a quiet corner, she spotted a young human child, part of a family in the delegation, engrossed in conversation with a Zorlak, one of the most physically fragile species in the galaxy. The child was excitedly describing Earth's seasons, while the Zorlak listened in fascinated horror to tales of snow and hurricanes. Yet there was no fear between them, only curiosity and a budding friendship. That evening, as the official ceremonies wound down, Lorana found herself on a balcony overlooking the capital's glittering skyline. She was joined by Amara, Admiral Donovan, and Vox. I must admit, Vox chimed softly, "When we first discovered Earth, I never imagined we'd be here. You've changed everything." Donovan chuckled. "That's what we do best. Though I have to say, you all have some pretty amazing worlds out there. Earth's going to have its hands full living up to its reputation as the galaxy's #1 crucible world. Amara smiled, her eyes on the stars above. That's the beauty of it, isn't it? We've spent our history pushing boundaries, overcoming limits, and now we have an entire galaxy of new challenges to face, new wonders to explore. Lorena felt a swell of emotion as she looked at her human friends. You know, when I first set foot on Earth, I thought I was visiting a hell world. Now I realize I was witnessing the birth of a new age for our galaxy. The four of them stood in comfortable silence for a moment, each lost in thought about the future that lay ahead. It would not be an easy road. There would be misunderstandings, conflicts, and challenges yet unimagined. But there would also be triumphs, discoveries, and friendships that spanned the stars. As the first light of dawn broke over the horizon, painting the alien sky in colors both familiar and strange, Amara spoke softly, almost to herself. Look out, universe. The children of Earth are here, and we're ready to dance. And across the vast expanse of the galaxy, on countless worlds circling countless stars, a new chapter in cosmic history began. The universe, which had once labeled Earth a hell world, was about to learn what it truly meant to be forged in the crucible of adversity. Humanity had arrived, bringing with them the indomitable spirit of their home world, ready to face whatever wonders and challenges awaited among the stars. The Galactic Council had sought to classify and categorize, to neatly order the chaos of the cosmos. But Earth and its humans had taught them a valuable lesson. True strength lies not in avoiding the fire, but in learning to thrive within it. And as humanity took its place among the stars, the entire galaxy prepared to evolve, to adapt, and to embrace the beautiful chaos that had birthed such an extraordinary species. The age of the crucible world had begun, and the universe would never be the same again.